You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at BringDownTheBand.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. I'm not going to mention my computer because Terry gets emotional when I say that.
You already did.
You got emotional as well. So
I did.
That was my point. My man Lonegevity is in the building. How are you, sir?
I am doing all right, man. I am tired from standing in line to vote for 3+ hours, but it's all good.
Hey, we still appreciate you, brother. You looking extra crispy out here. You're warm.
Yeah, man.
On your
I don't know what
presentation.
happened. It clicked in. I was blue for a while, and then now I'm looking how I'm supposed to look, you know? So.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Real
single
warm.
out here, so ladies, no, I'm kidding.
Real warm out here. I like that presentation.
Thank you.
We're rocking the Underground Kings joint, selling towels 2 for $5, getting through, making it the best way he can. My man Jay Moore, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm in the honeycomb hideout right now.
I see.
You know, the feds got me on the run and whatnot.
Okay. Can I get a couple? Can I get a couple of them towels?
I'll see what I can do. I'm just trying to avoid not only the Rona but the police. So you know,
Okay.
we gonna adhere to all curfews around these parts.
You've been getting your steps in, brother. You got a slim stature on you right now. Like you're looking healthy over there, my guy.
I'm doing what I can, man. I'm doing what I can.
That's what's up. And rounding out the crew as always, my man DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
What's happening, my brother?
Hey, you know, just this life thing, you know.
Okay. Well, you know,
That's about
life is moving fast out here, very fast actually. But it's good to see everybody is healthy and then hopefully in a good space. We'll get to talking about that. We appreciate everyone that is in on the chat as well. I'm trying to look at it on my phone, you know, just to see who is jumping in. With a shout out to my man E Sunny Paradise. We see you. Anybody else that wants to jump in, we just kind of open it up tonight. Any questions that you guys have or any comments, you know, about obviously the things that have been going on in the world. There's so much stuff we could talk about. But, you know, I find myself asking my friends more often now. It's not about, you know, it's not about anything but how you're doing. How are you? You know, how's your mental state? You know, is everything cool with you? What are you thinking? You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, we're in an area that I don't think any of us have been in, you know, in our lives. This is unprecedented. And, you know, it's scary hours, to use a Wu-Tang term. It's starting to get scary hours out here. Obviously, with George Floyd being murdered live on the streets in Minnesota, that has sparked off a lot of protesting and looting and, you know, however you want to describe it. Watched it a couple times and stopped after that. I just don't want to see it anymore. I hate people that try to share it. And, you know, just the status of America now as we speak and as we are live here is just some scary times, man. I'm seeing a lot of stuff that bothers me daily, you know, and I try to stay away, but I try to stay, you know, abreast of what's going on and stay aware of what's going on as well. So I want to kind of toss it out there to you guys. Just your overall thoughts. You know, they had the Blackout Tuesday today. We can talk about that also. But just your overall thoughts and feelings about, you know, where we are as we stand today. I want to start with you, Lone. Just kind of walk me through it, man. What's been on your mind?
Shit, man. It's a loaded question.
I know it's a heavy question, but just at this point, bro, you can just talk, man. You can just talk. Like we all listening.
No, it's just taking it one day at a time, I guess, is really the best way to put it. Trying to do everything that I can and stay out the way at the same time. You know, it's yeah, there's just a lot, man. You know, like last night I sat and watched, I mean, I didn't go out to the protest, but I watched it online for an hour, you know, and then, you know, but, you know, from these random feeds, you know, I'm seeing people I know, you know, like I saw Grits in one of them, you know, yelling, fuck 12, you know, and it, you know, like with the megaphone. And, you know, there's there's just a lot going on, and there's a lot of information coming at us really fast. I'm hoping that people that were kind of, and when I say people, I'm referring to white people. I'm hoping the white people that were kind of on the fence of not quite understanding some things are starting to grasp some things. Like, that's really my goal, you know, like in all of this is try to help. You know, I've had a lot of people forward their white friends to me to talk about stuff, you know, to answer questions and try to help. And that's great. You know, that's great. You know, like I'm perfectly fine having those conversations with people that are actually interested in wanting to learn, that are just ignorant and know that they're ignorant in a way, and can humble themselves. The problem is that there's so many people that just feel like they already have the answers and everything. And so that can get frustrating. Like, I had to take my CBD medicine or oil last night for the first time in months, just because I got extremely heated on a few instances. Just interacting with people. So I don't know, man, that's just for me, but that's, you know, my point of view. I'm more interested in how you guys are doing, you know, and all that, you know, to be honest. But
yeah, we'll try to, we're going to get back around and, you know, look into the chat. I see the chat is popping now. I just wanted to get initial thoughts from everyone. So, Jay Diff, talk to me, man. Just give me your, you know, just how you feeling right now, brother, as a whole.
Man, I'm all over the place, honestly. I mean, still focused on the prize, but man, it's exhausting, man. Like, I've had a rough day today. Just kind of just going through the motions of everything. And I usually deal with stuff pretty well, but for some reason today was just one of them days where I just started thinking about my whole life. Like, literally, this shit has been happening my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, and before that.
Yeah.
And like, when you put it in perspective, like our elders went through this shit in like the 50s and 60s and before then on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? And it is still here.
Yeah.
And what's so weird about it right now is it took George Floyd getting choked out on a feed for social media to see. I was only able to stomach watching that one time. I don't know how you said you was able to watch it twice.
Yeah, man. I
couldn't do it, man. But it's so strange to see how finally people are starting to understand what the fuck is going on out here. Like, literally, Colin Kaepernick started kneeling in protest of this very thing that's going on right now, and was ostracized by this whole country.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody.
Yeah.
He's not doing it right. He's disrespecting the flag. They made it mean what they wanted it to mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
Agree.
And now it's come to a head. The chickens have come home to roost, like Malcolm X said.
Yeah.
Just jumping off outside. And there's still people that don't understand. I love the fact that a lot of more people are getting it. A lot more people are understanding what we've been saying, what people like Lone have been saying for the longest. I'm happy for that, but at the same time, it's overwhelming, man. Like,
yeah,
I literally went and stood in line to vote today and had to hold back tears.
Yeah.
Just basically just looking around, and I mean, I'm voting for some shit. I'm voting for change, but is this really going to change? And then just thinking at one point in time, we weren't even able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Just a simple vote. And then once everybody started voting, they put in place the electoral colleges to fuck everything up. It's just, I don't know, it was just a whole lot of emotion going through me at that point in time when I was voting. And I don't know, man, it's kind of hard for me.
I respect it. And I echo, you know, some of the things that you actually said. well, like I said, we'll come back around. I want to get Jay Moore in here real quick. Jay Moore, just give me a couple minutes. Same question. You know the routine. You know how we do. Just talk to us real quick.
I'm angry. I think it really doesn't need to be any more complicated than I'm angry. It's been hard for me to stomach what I've seen on TV in the last 7 or 8 days. Initially, because I didn't watch the Ahmaud Arbery tape. I didn't watch it. I'm tired of seeing these things and continually being re-traumatized by things, by just a level of evil that shouldn't be tolerated in our society. But it seems like people are just looking the other way. And then, there was a story about Brianna Taylor, who was just shot in her home 8 times on a no-knock warrant. And because we don't talk enough about the women who are victims of police violence. Like, I always see these stories, and there's this whole narrative about, the danger of being a black man, and having to deal with the police. But black women are suffering at the same rate at this point. And,
glad you said that.
And what was really hard is, like, I try to avoid watching the tape from Minnesota, and I finally watched it, and just you never get used to it. This is the one that just made me cry, made me angry. I wanted to go burn some shit down. I wanted to lash out, because I've seen this quote on social media several times, and it's not a new quote. It's that America's lucky that black people want justice and not revenge.
Not revenge. Yep.
Right? And at this point, like, we've had enough. Everyone's had enough.
Yeah.
We can't watch these anymore. I think it's a mixture of the fact that we've seen between Ahmaud Arbery, Brianna Taylor, what happened, even the, comparatively speaking, the microaggression of the woman calling 911 on the man who told her to put her dog on a leash. Knowing exactly what could happen when you call the police on a black man and say, I feel threatened, and it's a white woman's voice on the other end of the phone.
She was fully aware of her privilege, fully aware.
And because if those police arrive, and if they're in the wrong state of mind, that brother he might be a hashtag as well.
Yep.
And so at this point, I just think there's a lot of people who've had enough. We've tried it your way. We've tried going through the court system. We've tried marching, and you know what? We got, there are a lot of people. I don't agree with a lot of the looting and whatnot, but at the same time, I understand it, because that's the only way we're able to get some people's attention. And the thing is, a lot of times the people, they're like, oh, look at them looting. Look at the things, the windows being broken. And I'm like, you know what? If we didn't have to continually deal with state-sponsored murder of people who look like us, this wouldn't be a problem. And so I think that's where we are right now. And this is where there's just been a lack of leadership, when we've been more worried about policemen maintaining their jobs and maintaining the public trust, and that's where, like, hopefully after this all over, I've tried to, formulate my own ideas of what we should do. I posted one on Instagram yesterday about how we should make any political candidate who's running for office, if he gets an endorsement from the Fraternal Order of Police, we need to make them a pariah. The endorsement from the Fraternal Order of Police should be a mark of shame, because they have made it to where you cannot fire murderers, thieves, child molesters, wife beaters. As long as they got a badge on, those people don't have to worry about ever losing their job. So we need to make real actionable steps going forward. So there's actual structural change that happens in the future.
Let's hold that thought right there. Appreciate those comments, bro. I'm trying to look through the chat just to see some of the things that are going on in there. Shout out to my man E. He said he's cried so much this past week. He said when we get a chance to see each other again, we'll truly appreciate each other. I agree with that 100%. Sonny Paradise said something along those lines as well. Sonny brought up also, he said the hugging shit is weak from the standpoint of
I agree.
The police officers. Jay Moore, you alluded to the
It's a photo op.
Yeah, right.
The goddamn Coca-Cola commercial.
Right, right.
Or the
Kylie-
Pepsi commercial. They tried to
Kylie
put
Jenner.
Kendall Jenner. Yeah.
We all talked about, well, we mentioned the looting, versus protesting, and just to kind of to piggyback off that and what Sonny Paradise said about, with the quote unquote photo op. One of the things that really frustrates me about this is I saw a picture of a young man that had on a Joker mask.
Yeah.
And he had there was three or four photos.
This is in Chicago.
Yeah. Clear photos too. Like whoever the photographer was captured great photos on, not the instance of what's going on, but just, how it looked in the moment. And the guy, he had his hand in the gas tank, and there's another one of him just kind of holding his arms out like he's on some movie shit. And there's another one with him sitting on the sidewalk just lighting a cigarette. And that really bothered me because there are clowns out here literally that are just like getting fantasies off. Like it has nothing to do with the actual topic at hand and protesting. Like you live in fantasies out here doing movie shit, killing people, stabbing people, robbing people. And it has nothing to do with George Floyd or the movement. And when I see stuff like that, that really pisses me off because you got cornballs spread in throughout the people that are actually peacefully protesting, inciting riots and inciting bullshit. And it really bothers me, man, because a lot of these dudes are out here just doing movie shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that really frustrates me. And I hate to see that shit because we know who's going to get blamed for that when it comes back to being described as looting and rioting, et cetera. It's not going to be about the kid in the mask. It's not going to be about that.
And that point goes even deeper into from a white person that doesn't, I'm not even really speaking for myself here, but from a white person that does not believe that race is an issue in this country or is riding for Trump very heavy.
Right.
They don't take the time to even think that the people that are protesting are different from the people that are rioting and looting. Like that thought doesn't go through their heads. So they automatically jump down a completely different pattern of thinking. Like to them, everything is the same. And so when you see a whole bunch of Black Lives Matters protests going on, and then all of a sudden looting is added to something, that's when you see the corny memes pop up all the time. Like, oh, the protesters are looting. It's like, man, do you pay attention? Like it's frustrating.
So yeah, to your point, as far as that's concerned, it's a stage for bullshit, man. It's like literally yesterday, the act of them marching trying to make it to the governor's house, governor's mansion, or whatever, and to get there while saying fuck 12, not really demand much of anything. And then to dap it up and hug, and then turn back around and march the opposite way, still saying fuck 12. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
It's yeah, in my and just my outside opinion, when I see that, it makes me kind of, it doesn't affect like, what are the police doing to affect structural change when they are hugging? It doesn't do anything at all.
Let me play devil's advocate, Lone. I'm coming right back to you.
All right.
Shout out to my man Jesse Lee in the chat, longtime supporter. He says, seeing cops kneeling, taking off the riot gear, etc., how can that be viewed negatively? He said,
that's what I just was talking about.
But he said, it was with the hugging and camaraderie. It was powerful. Now, so Lone, coming back to you, and then like you said, y'all can jump in. Like we know we're talking optics versus intention,
right?
Because do you guys look at it, and we can look at it on the surface, the structural level, and say, hey, there might be cops that might be genuine when it comes to the kneeling. There might be some out there. You know what I mean?
I think on the surface, not to cut you off, but I think on the surface, I agree with the fact that it's a powerful moment. I was watching live when all that happened, and so. Seeing them like stop and kind of like come to like an accord, it was cool. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that's cool. But at the same time, they had a list of demands. And so there was like a contradiction going on between two different people at the same time. I'm not like, what structural change? Like, that's why we're marching, right? We're to affect structural change within a police department. What is actually going to happen because of them hugging? Like, is it really a step? Is my question? That's the challenging question that I have. Is it really a step in the right direction? That's all I'm going to say.
No, because I mean, they're still marching right now. They're still marching right now, and we're still on a 9 p.m. curfew.
Right. Jump in, Jay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is the thing. I'm not interested in symbolic gestures. I'm not interested in photo ops. Like, right now, we need to talk about tangible and actual structural change. You know, there's a level of non-transparency, not only with IMPD, but with basically any PD in this country. And until we have, it shouldn't take seeing cities burn and people getting shot in the head with rubber bullets and canisters of tear gas, which on an international level, like if a Marine or somebody in the Army shot tear gas in Afghanistan or Iraq, they'd be brought up in charges and thrown in a military prison. Like, but you can actually shoot teenagers in America with tear gas. Like, these are the sort of things. But if we can't use these on enemy combatants, how is it that we can use tear gas on American citizens? Like, somewhere along the way, we have to start talking about why these things. Why is it we don't have enough protective gear for nurses and doctors in hospitals, but we seem to have an endless amount of tear gas to shoot people in the face with? Like, I don't care about your hugs or you kneeling or any of that right now, when in 2 weeks you still haven't affected any actual structural change. So I think we need to stop with bullshit and stop with we need to stop doing photo ops with police officers and hugging them and doing dances. That means nothing to me, and it shouldn't mean anything to anybody else, because in 2 weeks, when another kid gets shot or kneeled on or choked out, it means nothing, because there's still going to be a system in place that makes it to where that cop will not have to worry about losing his job and be put on desk duty or get paid leave, which is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. Like, paid, like, you're basically giving somebody vacation for killing somebody. That's really what do you think paid leave is? They just get to stay at the house until collect a check? Right. Like, if you worked at McDonald's and you were supposed to be unloading the truck and you left all the meat out in the sun and forgot to take it in and put it in the freezer, and then you serve that meat, you're losing your job because people got sick. But if you shoot and kill, you can shoot somebody who is unarmed as a police officer in this country and not worry at all about losing your job. That's why we really have to attack any political candidate who is endorsed by these police unions. We need to really figure out how we can dismantle and discredit these police unions, because they are not, once again, not about the public trust.
Yeah, I got a question. I got something for. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lone.
No, I was just gonna piggyback off what he was saying, man.
Okay, go ahead.
Shout Still Brown.
Still Brown in here?
Yeah.
What did you say? I just came in here to say, wow. Love you too, man. He a hater, man. I hate his hair too. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, there are a handful, like, nobody necessarily, how many people on this panel and in the comments want to abolish the police?
Let me look in the chat.
I would say,
and what do you think
the system that the police stand for, because the police was put in order pretty much as a placemaker for racism. Whenever everybody, whenever slavery and all that stuff was done, to put people in jail. So yeah, I would like to see that system of law diffused. Yeah, definitely.
Jay Diff, I had a question for you. Well, I was going to come to you after Lone and Jay Moore, and it's about the we talked about the young man with the the clown mask, right? We talked about that earlier. So the flip side to that also is, when you watch the coverage and you watch the footage of everything that's going on, there are some things that I've seen from black people that's embarrassing as well, with the looting, the Champs, the Leaks funeral home in Chicago on Cottage. Why would you do that? Like, so many people have had funerals there that couldn't pay for it. The families couldn't pay for it. And, you know, it's just been a staple in that community for years, and black-owned businesses being looted by black folks. Like, you know, there's two sides to it. Like, I don't want to, you know, isolate the young man that we were talking about with the clown mask. That shit is stupid too. But there's some other stuff that I'm seeing us do as well that's also disappointing from a quote unquote looting standpoint. What do you think about that?
Speaking on that, I mean, there's always going to be some people involved in any kind of situation that they think they can benefit solely from a selfish point of view. And these are people that wouldn't stand for shit any damn way. You know what I'm saying? And that's in every race, creed, and color. So you got people that are black that are out there on some bullshit that are seeing a chance to be able to act out, essentially. Most of them are young. I can't really speak for their upbringing or the reasoning why, but I mean, it's very unfortunate that you got those people out there too, which is putting a cloud over what this is supposed to be about in the first place. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But I wanted to touch on the marching that happened yesterday briefly again. Just because. All right, so that definitely was a powerful statement. You know what I'm saying? And what it did, it gave people a vantage point to cheer and kumbaya per se. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, once they marched back to downtown, they weren't even able to march back to the destination they wanted to, because the police were waiting there for them, ready to serve them again if they came up in there. You know what I'm saying?
I saw that.
It's mixed. It's sending mixed messages, and people on the outside looking in, which have no idea what's really going on, or just see what's fed to them by the news or whatnot. They just took it as all the police and the protesters are about to get together and make something happen. But I don't think that's what that was. You know what I'm saying? It's simple as even Trump yesterday, his address, where he had the protesters that were peacefully protesting, and they shot him with the gas, gas and pellet guns to move them out in front of that church just so he could take a picture with a Bible.
That's a bunch of bullshit, man.
It's all for showing propaganda, man. Everybody talks about how Korea does that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're doing the exact same thing. It's the exact same shit, because other countries are looking at us right now like, oh, damn, they look just like us, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Shit's going on. There's no real law being enforced right now. People are going ham, essentially. So, yeah.
Well, let me jump back in the I'm trying to just stay multitasking out here, trying to look in the chat. Go ahead, Lone.
I'm gonna go ahead while you do that. You know, I think one thing that I would like for people to do on a more regular basis, just in general, but you know, especially a lot of people that are observing from the outside, is you know, like, there's this term that I learned when I went to school. I'm an engineer by trade, which many people know, even though I don't really do that stuff anymore. But it's called the 5 whys, and it's a great idea to utilize whenever you are asking a question on a certain situation. So I feel like in a lot of these situations, we have to ask the question, not just why is somebody doing something, but we have to go beyond that question multiple times to get to the root of why something is happening the way it is. And this goes to Terry's point about the looting and the hugging at the same time. And this goes also to people looting in Chicago and different areas. Like, I wish we were more analytical and more critical of why people are actually doing the things that they're doing outside of just the bare surface of what it seems. And I think we would come to a lot more better conclusions. Yeah, there we go.
We'll take that. Don't worry about it. We'll take that. Let me look at the chat real quick. Good point, by the way. Let's see. Sunny Paradise. The media is part of the problem. The police are part of the problem. I'm with that. Let's see. My man Micah was in here also. He said we want a systematic overhaul. Yeah. When I think that was around the time Jay Diff was talking. Let's see. Il Brown said the south side of Chicago looks like a third world country. He said over east. Let's see what else we have. Chat is popping. We appreciate y'all, by the way.
Yeah. For sure.
Let's see. My man Jesse Lee said, let's not let Trump's actions taint everyone else's.
I'm curious on that.
The only thing about that, Trump's action tainting everybody else's. You know that Indianapolis wasn't the only place that a photo opportunity took place during the march yesterday.
Yeah.
It was like going on all over the damn place. So if you tell me that wasn't some way formulated to happen, regardless of, you know what I'm saying? It had to be.
He said, "Lone, I was referring to the photo op. That's my man Jesse Lee. Yeah, okay, all right. This is fun in the chat room, man. We really appreciate y'all. The 45 photo op, man. Like
it's not a conspiracy.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
Why does it have to be some conspiracy? I don't think it's a conspiracy. I just think that they're trying to.
It's easy to look through, man.
What's that?
I just think it's easy to see. Like it's not. We've seen it so many times. Like it's.
Yeah. It's unfolding right in front of you.
Like to this point, like if all right, the officer said he said I'll walk 1 block with you because I've been up for 4 days, but he's still gonna go back and stand with his people when it's over. You know, like I would have loved.
He did go back downtown.
That's my point. So why don't they just stop and march with them? You know, and you know I've seen a meme float around a few times. Like like if my if my job asked me to go shoot rubber bullets at Americans, that are peacefully protesting, I might get another job. Like that may not seem reasonable, but to me that is a reasonable explanation. I've seen firefighters come out and say, "Yeah, if they ask me to hose down people, I'm gonna look at them and ask them what are they talking about." You know, and so I mean. I don't know, man. It doesn't seem. What am I trying to say?
It doesn't seem genuine.
It doesn't. Well, I know it's not genuine. It might be genuine on a personal level, like on an individualized level. It's at the very rudimentary piece of everything. But once you start dipping away at the layers, which is what we're trying to do, in my opinion, it's almost. I don't want to say it's meaningless because it's not meaningless, but it's just not enough.
And it was also at the same time where Trump tried to flex his authority, stating that he was going to deploy these military police or instruct these mayors and governors to allow the military police come in and pretty much police the state, essentially. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he always does that, not realizing he doesn't have that power to make that happen throughout the whole United States.
It's supposed to be on the governors, right?
Yes, the governors have
100%.
to ask. If the governors don't ask for military intervention, the president on his own cannot ask for it. But of course, we have a president who probably, he doesn't know basic civics. So these things are puzzling. So that's where all this comes from. He says things that sound good to his base, and he has no authority to do.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I don't think there's any that base is never. I don't think there's any accountability on that base. Like I've never seen someone be able to move. But I'm talking about. But I've never seen someone be able to move so freely and lie so consistently, and
with free exactly.
There's never anything. There's no rebuttal. There's no. Okay, let's think this out. Okay, let's think about what we're saying here. Everything is just out in the open. It's consistent, blatant lying and hyping up stuff, man. And it's never. There's no accountability around him. I don't think there's no accountability around him. And it's gotten so it's become the norm. Like I'm used to it. I'm like, they pull up facts and they'll show things where he had something.
It was the norm before he got to office.
But what I'm saying is now it's like I'm numb to it. It's like I know he gonna lie. Let me see which ones they can find when he speaks. Like that's where it's at now with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's. Have you guys ever thought about? We've talked about this before, but what do you think? And I'll throw it out to everyone, including the chat. What is the perception of America now from people outside of America?
From the outside?
Yes. What is the perception? Are people looking at us saying to Terry?
They're laughing at us.
I was going to use the word laughing.
They're laughing. No, you know what? They're not laughing. They're not laughing at us. They're laughing at our leadership. And when I say our leadership, I'm talking about Lindsey Graham. I'm talking about President Trump, and I'm talking about what's the guy who looks like a turtle?
Are you talking about Cruz?
No, he looks like Eddie Munster.
True.
I'm talking about.
That's fair.
Yo, I can't think of who you're talking about that looks like a turtle.
Turtle.
He looks like a
I like turtles.
It might be. I can't remember. Lindsey Graham, President Trump, and there's a third.
Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's the one who he looks like. If we distract him with a piece of lettuce, we might be able to get through this. But
that's a bar right there. I like that one.
But yeah, like they're not laughing at us. In fact, like they're probably seeing what's happening in the streets, and there are people who are probably like, finally. But like they're laughing at our leadership. They're laughing at him, hiding in a bunker and then having such a fragile ego that when he finds out that people are laughing at him in a bunker, he goes across the street to a closed church and holds somebody else's Bible upside down. That's what they're laughing at.
Okay.
I don't think they're they probably aren't laughing at that part, but I'm saying, like I said earlier, we're just like them now. There's unrest everywhere. You know what I'm saying? All the shit that we were seeing on the news coming up where people were protesting, throwing rocks and stones and shit at their leadership and people policing them, we're the exact same thing to them right now. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
The exact same thing. I used to look at that and think, that's because they're in another country, not knowing the layers to what led up to people acting and performing like that. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that because, I never thought about it like that until you just said it. We are used to watching that. You're used to watching other countries act the way that we're acting here now. That's a very good point. I never thought about it like that.
I think a lot of people can probably relate, to be honest. Yeah. And we have, and if you pay attention to the protests and everything that's been going on across the world, not even the United States, like there are people protesting this in like, I don't know what
London. I saw London.
I don't want to throw like a wrong number, but all over the world protesting for us.
People came out to protest.
That's different. Shout out to my man Jesse Lee who put me on that.
What'd you say?
Thread.
The Amish people.
I've never seen them.
Yeah.
When Jesse posted that, I saw that on Facebook. I said, man,
how did they get? They got the news somehow, and they came out.
Yeah, that's different. Let me jump back in the thread because it's popping in here. Let's see. I see some lies being told. So my man, well, not 100% lie. My man Jesse Lee said he ghost produced for me a couple times. Hey man, knock it off, man. I was working on a beat for the Almighty album with Killer Priest and Wu-Tang. And Jesse was at the crib, and he actually came in. I asked him about something. I think it was some strings or something like that. And he was like, "Yeah, that's cool, but you might wanna." So ever since then, he's got ghost producer credit. So I can't really lie. I ain't gonna lie on him out here. He was in the room. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. The U.S. Shout out to my man DJ 𝗏𝗲. He said they've been laughing honestly. I've seen it when I was in France last year. When you get a chance to watch Sky News or BBC or Euronews, especially Al Jazeera, he said they clowning. My man Micah says Trump's Bible is the book of Satan. I see you. Let's see. The U.S. is nothing more than a daily joke in the news, thanks to Trump's Twitter page, Sunny Paradise. Let's see. DJ 𝗏𝗲, the U.S. is, USA is a third world country with a Gucci belt. Y'all got it lit in here.
Yeah.
Let's see. See.
I missed that one.
Yeah, they lit in here. Okay, I'm trying to find some more. We got some good comments in
So
here.
London, Paris, Berlin protests right now. I think I even heard like New Zealand or Australia or something like that. And
I did see New Zealand.
Yeah. Wasn't there a? I had an article pulled up. Wasn't there a? Let's see. So ABC said Minnesota's Department of Human Rights is launching an investigation into Minneapolis Police Department after filing a civil rights charge related to Floyd's death. And it says the investigation will examine the policies, procedures, and practices over the past 10 years to determine if the police department has engaged in systematic discriminatory practices towards people of color. That was around 322 today.
That's another random point that I'm going to say. The police cannot police themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't have the police handling, let me rephrase it. Actually, I think I said it pretty great. The police can't police themselves. Right? The police can't police themselves. So, like, we can't have the system that the police is a part of trying the police. Like, that's the part that needs to be changed. Like, it's
bias, perhaps.
It's a conflict of interest.
They literally get fired from police departments and go apply somewhere else. It's kind of like the popes in the Catholic Church.
Yeah, they're gonna leave Kansas and go to Oklahoma.
Well, that's the
𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐃𝐃𝐒 connection, bro.
When we talk about disenfranchising these police issues, we have to talk. That's one of the
Jay Moore's a robot.
We can't hear nothing you saying, bro.
We don't have the civilian review board.
Jay Moore, you sound like Megatron right now, bro.
All right. Hold on.
Yeah, you sound like Megatron right now.
Autobots, roll out.
All right, let's get back in this chat real quick. Japan is protesting, and that's from the homie Micah. Let's see. They're protesting everywhere, my man Jesse Lee said they all over the place.
There we go.
Let's see. Very similar to details in George Floyd. DJ Lovsky says, when you get a chance, look up Adam. Is it Trout? I can't pronounce the last name.
Traoré.
Adama. I'm sorry, I can't read. Yeah, it says it's a case in France. It happened in 2016. Very similar to the details of the George Floyd murder. I don't know if I peeped that one. I might have to take a look at that. Let's see.
Jay Moore's face is like frozen in time.
Apparently I'm failing. I can't read. Boy, some haters out here in this thread. Let's see. Jay Moore. Let's see. He look like he's trying to escape the bunker.
Somebody put him in the sunken place. We gotta pull him out.
My man Jesse Lee said that was a pic I posted yesterday. I'm like, good looking out. I got to go back and read that one, bro. I think I missed that one.
So did you guys see?
I also want to speak on.
Go ahead.
Real quick, I want to speak on like the people that are trying to, that never said nothing about this injustice that happened with George Floyd. But as soon as the protests and marches and the things that followed, the unfortunately broken glass and brick and mortar businesses being ran through, then they all of a sudden had something to say. How do y'all feel about that in the chat? And y'all too, Lone, Mike, and
I mean, you know how I feel about it.
I know where we at on that one.
It's it gives white folks that think that racism is only saying bad words to people, makes them comfortable and feel comfortable of coming out and saying something without being racist and blatant about it. That's a goofy way of saying it, but I take a lot of things to race because I feel like a lot of things at the root cause are at race. It's not like I'm just going there, but a lot of these people are closeted racists. It's just what it is.
How about
this? It's open to me though. It's blatant for you
to
literally sit. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say closeted in the sense, just like that essay that I wrote. Like closeted meaning they may not be overly. This is just my opinion. I don't necessarily think they're overly conscious a lot of times that they are acting in a racist manner. And so it like it gives them a safe angle to come in and say something, because they're not saying anything blatantly racist. They're just saying the bullshit that they're saying. They don't see the double-sided standard of what they're saying.
So it kind of goes to what you were stating when you wrote the that essay or whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
That was very well done, by the way. Go ahead.
So let me ask Mike, how do you feel if you see somebody black doing it? Because I've seen it on both ends.
First of all,
I want to say this to the chat as well. Have y'all seen it from white and black or whoever in reference to trying to spin the narrative without mentioning the whole cause and effect?
I'm gonna take it a step further. The one that burns me up the most is when I hear people trying to give me a speech about black on black crime, and the people that are bringing it up never say anything about quote unquote black on black crime until something like this happens. Then it's a speech about, well, you know, we got to start from holding ourselves accountable too. I understand that. I get that. But why don't you ever say that before now? I'm not about to hear a speech about...
That's a trained response. That's a program response, man.
I'm not about to hear a speech about black on black crime from somebody that never brings it up until one of us gets killed out here by a police officer. Knock it off. I'm not about to hear a speech about that. That's stupid to me. Like,
you guys now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. You're not moving much, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I can hear you. You just
okay.
You frozen.
Your connection's kind of trash.
Yeah.
Loner hater.
No, it is. He's not lying. No, I think a big problem when you say black on black crime, it's like you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Two things can be wrong at the same time. All right, because I'm saying that as somebody who lost somebody very recently to quote unquote black on black crime, which isn't a thing. It's crime.
Right.
You commit crimes against people who are close to.
Yes.
But that does not mean that we cannot also focus on police on black crime. You know, that doesn't even sound right to say, but it is a thing. And so when people, like I said, you were very right, Major, when you said people don't care about black on black crime until the police do something wrong.
I hate it.
It's weird how it does nothing else sound like whenever you say like white on white crime or Asian on Asian crime, you notice how that shit sounds weird?
It sounds stupid.
Because you were programmed to think that black on black crime was the only thing that was supposed to exist.
Yes.
This shit that's just not what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate that white people and black people alike use that as ammo when anything like this happens. And it drives me completely nuts, man. It's like, do you even hear what you're saying? Like,
right.
You can literally look up statistics that state it doesn't matter what color they were. Most likely they were killed by their own race. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is.
But bigger than that, it's a deflection.
It's like a deflection, and it's an excuse for people to kill you.
Yeah.
It's almost like this trying to justify the reason why you're killed, so they spin it on you. Just say, well, black on black crime is black on black crime. They can miss me with all that bullshit.
Yep.
I'm cool on that conversation. Let's get back in the thread, man. Let's see.
I see Keisha in here. What's up, Keisha?
We got a lot of support, man. We're going to have to start opening up the doors to the church more, man. This is fun. We appreciate everybody that's been rocking with us for this entire episode. Jay Moore, I know you're going to have to get out of here in a little bit. I want to try to get in the thread one more.
I do real quick, though.
Yeah.
To Jay Moore's point, I wouldn't mind if we could have a moment of silence for Chris Beatty. I think is that how you say his last name?
Is that how you pronounce it?
Chris Beatty. The one of his brother that lost his life trying to when all the craziness was going down, he tried to really step in and protect a couple of ladies who were being robbed.
Yeah.
And got shot and killed in the process on Saturday night. So let's go ahead and I thank you for Jay Diff for remembering that. If we could just go ahead and do a quick moment of silence for that brother, because he died really trying to do the right thing and it's unfortunate seeing this. And maybe we should do that moment of silence.
I'm with that.
All right.
Yeah. So rest in peace to that brother. I did not know him. I knew of him through, mutual friends. I understand he went to IU, played football, and I see nothing but positive responses from people about him. From having ownership to, if I understand correctly, ownership to some clubs here in Nap. I know he's just heavy into the community overall, man. And when you see somebody that's really a positive person that really is, trying to make change and goes about things the right way, he's our age, man. Like it's just tough, man. Like it's just.
Shout out to DJ No too. I know that was his right hand man.
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah, and shout out my man Jason Buckner. It was crazy. Those guys were really tight, and I know they're going through right now. So my thoughts, prayers are going to right now, sir.
I actually saw there's a mural that's already been painted for him, man. Like that just tells you, that brother he must have had some heavy impact. Everything that I see has just been glowing about that brother, man. So
there's all kind of articles. Sports Illustrated actually penned an article for him.
Man, that's dope, man.
Oh, it was on ESPN. So that's the kind of reach he had and the kind of love he had out here. That it just wasn't a local story. This is a national story.
Right.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, man. It's unfortunate. Let's see the chat. The chat is popping. Let's see. Rest easy. We lost a real one. Yep. All praises due. Heart emoji. A really great guy. Sunny Paradise. That's one cool dude. My man Jesse Lee. And like I said, I'm. I didn't even know the brother, but I know so many people that are speaking highly of him. So that lets me know. Jay Morris, about 10:03. I know you guys are doing some stuff for Take That Tuesday. It's going to be more of a, revolutionary route tonight, trying to raise some funds. Go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah. With everything that was going on, like on Saturday night, I was just like, I didn't feel like it would be right for us to do a regular Take That Tuesday. I felt like that we should do something that's going to benefit somebody than just ourselves. So, usually we try to get people to tip the DJ, tip the MC, but tonight we are doing a different version of Take That Tuesday. We're calling it People's Radio. We're going to be playing those protest songs. We're going to be playing that music that really means something to people's heart and soul, and hopefully it'll get them through a time like this. If you go to the Take That Tuesday page on Instagram, if you go to DJ Metronome's page, or you go to my Instagram page, JMore1977, you'll be able to see all the information as far as the people that we are raising funds for, people on the ground in Minnesota. Of course, the Know Your Rights Camp. If you know anything about what 𝐀𝐿 Kaepernick has been doing this whole time, then you know about the Know Your Rights Camp and several other organizations. So we're going to really put on for the people tonight, and it's not about DJ Metronome and I, and we're going to do something that's going to benefit others who are out here fighting against police brutality, and we're trying to really do something to make some change. So
that's dope.
Everybody who's in the chat, I appreciate you guys. Jump on over to www.twitch.tv/decademics.
Shout out to DJ Lovsky.
In fact, we're starting up right now.
You're going to stop bringing people from our channel over to Decademics channel?
Yeah, he actually just shared the link in the chat. We see you, brother. We see you. That's
okay.
That's a good look right there. We
like I don't work for Decademics, but we're also gonna
jump off of here. Say what now?
I say we're also gonna stream it on here for a while too. So, but yeah,
we'll probably have some. No, you good, bro. I said, Lovsky, we see you, bro. You good. We appreciate you. Yeah, Jay Moore, be safe, man. When you head over to the spot, be careful, and we'll probably.
Actually, I'm already in the spot. That's why my internet might have been jumping around a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not messing look, I'm not messing around with this curfew. They're not gonna get me.
There we go. There we go. That's even better, brother. All right, man.
All right, man. I'll holler at y'all.
Yep.
All right, Jimmy.
So, with that being said, man, if there's anything else, that I forgot, if there's anything else you guys want to talk about,
I think we can continue the conversation a little bit. If anybody in the chat wants to chime in, if y'all got anything y'all want to talk about, I see a couple questions in here about.
Yeah.
Lone, do you want to close out? Do you want to do a closeout for the episode, or do you just want to just keep it rocking while we got people in here? Your call.
We haven't even reached an hour yet, so I mean,
Okay.
we're
All right.
good, you know. No, I mean, did you guys watch?
Why you cut me out, Mike? See, that's the shit I be talking about.
See, violence,
that's
black
white
on
privilege.
black violence.
Literally was in making a sentence and what you want to do, man?
You know what? If I told people how you came on, how you came on when I first logged in, but I ain't gonna do that, man. I ain't gonna tell.
All right, so I'm going back through the comments real quick again, Michael.
But
as you mentioned, DeWine Daniels, I think he was one of the young men that was killed downtown as well. So definitely want to shout him out. And many prayers and thoughts to his family as well. What else do we see here?
Did you guys watch Killer Mike's speech?
Definitely.
Yes, definitely watched it. Definitely watched it.
Did you agree with him?
100%.
I like what he said.
That's why I said he should be the president.
I don't disagree with that at all.
Definitely said he should be the president.
I absolutely agree with Killer Mike. I just, yeah.
Very camera flipped over. He being irresponsible. I definitely liked.
Irresponsible.
I like what Killer Mike said, man. Like, I do not think he was bullshitting. I think he was serious. I think he meant everything he said.
Yeah.
I think he played on, what we talked about earlier, about black people being held to a certain standard as well in terms of the choices that we make. He mentioned tearing down. We tear down our own homes and our own community for what? Like all of that stuff he was talking about was spot on to me. T.I. T.I. was talking about. I didn't see all of T.I.'s. I just kept seeing the Wakanda memes.
I didn't actually see his at all, to be honest. But
I'm
assuming Killer Mike's overshadowed his so much that it at this point. I mean, not to take anything away from T.I., but it wasn't going to be as poignant as what Killer Mike said.
Okay. I still got to go watch Tips though, because like you said, it might not. It probably don't have as much meat and potatoes as Killer Mike's did.
Yeah, we gotta talk. We gotta talk about LL Cool J too.
Oh yeah, Freddie Gibbs is on. He owned one about that LL Cool J freestyle.
Jesse said you a hater, by the way, just to let you know.
That's cool. I still got love for Jesse. That's my brother, man. No matter how much violence he speak against me, it's all right. I still love him, man. That's my guy. So, it's all good, Jesse. Just continue to be that way, brother. It's all right. I still love you, man. We good. We good.
I'm with it, Mikey, for Killer Mike for 2024. I don't think he's going to do it, but shit, I wish he would.
Yeah, I don't
think
he will
shout
either,
out, shout out to that Ooh La La. Oh, Ooh Wee Wee. Is it
Ooh La La, Ooh Wee Wee.
That video is hard, man. And Killer Mike was in his bag lyrically. I like that. I like that.
I love he talking about what's going on in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I would say it's different down here in Atlanta. It's so black that you stand a great chance to burn a black business down.
Right.
Even in an affluent area like Buckhead. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah. The thing with the looting and stuff, like, I honestly, and this is probably controversial, but like, I have no issues with burning shit to the ground of like racists and like entities of the system that don't have any type
Big
of
corporations.
Yeah, like corporations and stuff like if all that was just the only thing that was targeted by these looters, these outside looters, I probably wouldn't even bat an eye,
Yeah.
like
I feel you. I feel what Killer Mike was doing to Lovesy, because anybody that's been to Atlanta, being black in Atlanta, it's definitely a different feeling. Like, it's almost as soon as you go there, you can feel the difference. I can't really explain it, man. It's like when you walk into a business, even like a Applebee's or something, a TGI Fridays. I mean, it's like a party. Like, literally, I'm not bullshitting. You go in there, it's music playing, everybody's having a good time. It's just different. So I understand why Killer Mike speaks so highly and felt so emotional about them tearing up that city, because essentially it's a black Mecca.
Yeah, it's a little counterintuitive, or it can get there, you know.
My guy DJ Nate Jeezy, who stays out in Maryland, the DMV area, you know, when I lived out there, it's kind of the same thing, like you said, Terry, with the vibe for Atlanta. You know, it's not as quote unquote, you know, black, but it's close. You know what I'm saying? I felt that when I was out there. It is different. The vibe is different. And he said the same thing. He said, you know, being, you know, somewhat close to the White House, he's, I don't know, we'll call it 20 miles away, whatever, because he's in Maryland. He said the vibe out there is different as well, because they get at it. They get busy out there on in Southeast DC. So he said it's scary hours out there as well, just because, you know, Virginia, Maryland, DC, all on top of each other. And he just was like, what we're feeling here is the exact same thing everywhere. Anybody I've talked to, got a friend of mine in Houston that hit me up today, it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird times, man. I've never seen anything like
though. The police in Atlanta be on some bullshit too, just like they showed.
I'm sure they do.
That girl out that car. You know what I'm saying? They definitely on bullshit too. The whole fraternity of police, period, is on bullshit. I don't care if you white, black, Asian, Hispanic. Once you enter that force, you can have every intention on being good that you want. And I don't fault the ones that decide to make that decision and go that route. But at the same time,
got to understand what you're a part of.
All these other influencers outweigh your positivity. You know what I'm saying? So unfortunately, you get grouped into that shit.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So that's a time where the police need to police the police. Because if you actually want people to look at y'all in a different light, since there's so many good cops, then y'all need to start policing each other.
Yeah, and that's never going to happen. That's part of the issue.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a damn good point. Let me jump back in this thread, man. See what's going on. They still in here with us.
You're right, Micah. I mean, you're absolutely right. The good cops are the ones that get fired for doing what's right, and that's the conflict. You know, like then they'll lose their job, and you know, go work at a private security firm.
E said DC is chocolate, like it's Chocolate City. It sure is. It sure is. Let's see.
Yeah. Keisha said she volunteered to help clean up a minority-owned business that was hit downtown today, and the owner isn't mad. So, I mean, insurance covers a lot of this stuff too. You know, like
it definitely does.
You know, there's no insurance policy on like killing people. So
yeah, there's not. Man. Like you can even turn back in and shit you stole. You know what I'm saying? You can get a court case, get your time in court, and maybe not do anything. But once you kill or once you're dead, you can't get that life back. So,
yeah.
Well said.
You didn't tell me about LL, man.
Oh yeah. So
here's my time to Freddie Gibbs, because they want to talk about Freddie Gibbs.
We should talk about it briefly.
So here's my thing with LL. What did you say, Lone? How did you miracle? What's the one they say for anybody that's over?
Yeah,
like age?
He did the lyrical miracle a little bit on one part.
So,
that's your favorite.
If you think about it, if you listen to what he was actually saying and how he put it together,
the message was great.
The message was dope.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's kind of like you want to separate the two, because I cannot sit here and lie and say that lyrical miracle vibe wasn't there. Like, I'd be lying to y'all if I said that. But I'm gonna rock with it overall because it was some potency in the bars there. Now the delivery, and we want to talk about that. That's cool.
You want to watch it? We can watch it if you want.
Let's pull it up. Because I think he has some meat and potatoes in there.
We can pull it up. We can pull that up. Give me a second here.
Let me look in the thread. DC is wonderful. It is, bro. I miss it. LL was crying. Let's see. And we cool with that, but cops and protesters hugging each other is fraudulent.
Hey, listen, like I said earlier, man, today's been rough for me. I've shed a few tears today over this shit.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I don't see him crying with the air quotes was meant to be just for show. I don't know. Yeah. Everybody feels a certain way right now, man.
I mean, it's like we said, it's gray area. Like it's a lot of gray area. All right, man, go ahead and run it, man.
I'm curious if you guys are gonna be able to hear it. I think I got to turn your guys' sound on in Zoom. So let me do that real quick. It might be a little loud for y'all, but here we go.
For 400 years, you had your knees on our necks. A garden of evil with no seeds of respect. In America's mirror, all she sees is regret. Instead of letting blood live, they begging for bloodlet. Revenge is a dish that's served on platelets. Transfusion of confusion, abusing our intellect.
Stop, Lone.
With a $1,200 check, even though $1,200 can make a meal stretch. My mama wasn't rich, but she earned my respect. She made a little bit of money for a lot of blood, tears, and sweat. Jumping up and down on police cars, I'm vexed. After Chauvin killed George Floyd, we got next. Molotov cocktails, anarchy on the set. The rich took the loot, so now we loot shit. Feeling like a caged tiger that's whipped to do tricks. That's why I started fires and yelled and threw bricks. They tried to run me over and arrest me and shit. Tase pepper spray and engage with the kid. They ran up in the state house with them AKs quick. But let a nigga try and do that white boy shit. Won't be no rubber bullets ricocheting off ribs. But the white supremacists go in the cops' faces spit. Try to barbecue, Becky calling cops on the kid. Hoping and praying it'd be some Emmett Till shit. Sandra wasn't bland, they hated Mike cause he brown. Trayvon should have had an Aston Martin riding around. Amadou Diallo, it's way too many to follow. Vato, how much of my pride I gotta swallow? God only knows how deep this plan goes. I was dealing with this shit as a teen in Kangos. Harassed by cops, word to my ancestors' souls. And watching that man die slow left a hole. He cried for his mama as the murder unfold. If it wasn't for them phones, Chauvin would be at home. Feeling justified because of George's skin tone. I'm telling it to those with melanin, you're not alone. The new Malcolm, Martin, and Marcuses are now grown. America's a graveyard full of black men's bones. And I ain't got to tell you that Brianna Taylor got slayed in her own home. Had they lived, Sean could have rocked bells. Eric could have garnered attention. Beyond the t-shirts and obituary mentions. Oscar could have been counting grants. Tamir could have went to Rice. They owed them cops nothing, but all of them paid the price. So yeah, you right. We should protect our Second Amendment rights. Because in a second, a dirty cop could kick the door in at night. A 2-4-2 finna life for life. We refuse to live in hell while you living in paradise. Being black in America's like rolling a pair of dice. But the stakes are way higher, you gambling with my life. Black lives matter.
Bong bong.
Forever.
Hey, it's meat and potatoes in there, man. It's meat and potatoes all over that.
Jesse don't like it.
Well, I'm not. Where you at? Let me look in the thread. I'm not surprised. Nah, man. I fucks with it overall. Sorry. I like it. I'll take it. But Lone, you point out that I laugh every time. I'm watching you the whole time because I knew you was going to point out that part.
It reminds me of Shaun of the Dead. But no, I think I think it was a good message. His eye crying, and it almost looked like, because I had just watched, when I first watched that video, I had just watched a video of people getting tear gassed, and I was like, is he trying to? Is this? It didn't even come across as like him crying. I was like, is he like emulating being gassed right now?
It looked like he just hit a blunt or two.
He might have had some of that loud, huh? Let me see, man. Who in here with us still? I saw a lot of requests to talk about Alfredo, man.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I like it, man. I like it. You know, the Alchemist, Lone, we talk about this all the time from the loop standpoint. And he's picking out good ones though, man. Like they're working. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on that Griselda vibe. And they really started low key. Griselda started a wave back. I think the Alchemist has always been in that bag, but I'm talking about Griselda bringing that actual wave back, and you start to see other people, other producers, you know, starting to get on that wave. But I like it because it's not too long. Like I'm tired of 24, 23 track albums that have 15 or 16 songs that are unnecessary. Like I hate that.
No, for sure. Me too.
You know what I mean? Let's get to the point. I think there's 10, 11 records on this one. Features are well placed. Tyler the Creator.
I don't even think
Rick
there's
Ross.
that many, is there?
Is it? I might be wrong. I have to pull it up. Maybe 10, 9 or 10.
I think there's only like 7 or 8. I could be.
Is it 7 or 8? Oh, even if it's lower, that's even better. I felt that's one of the things I liked about it because it was in and out.
Yeah, 9.
No, is it 9? Okay, that's a good number. Like I like it, man. Like the joint with Rick Ross is probably my favorite, where he talks about his license and registration and the officer get pulled over.
Yeah.
I think it's Scotty. What is it? Scotty Pippen? I can't remember. I gotta pull. I should have had a track.
It's called Scotty Beam.
Scotty Beam. Yep. So that joint is hard, man. What you think, Jay Diff?
Hey, I think it's good, man. I ran it. I think I've listened maybe 3 times so far. It's a solid project, man. Freddie Gibbs is really proving himself out here.
Yeah. Nah, I need to listen to it more. Like I've heard it. I burnt a CD for my ride over to the for my MP3 CD.
Okay.
You know, for the ride over to the voting area. But I only listened to a couple of the videos when it dropped, and like the visualizers, and only like 3 or 4 tracks. But I like what I heard so far. So
yeah, that track
good.
with Rose with Rick Ross on it was solid to me.
Yeah.
That Scotty Beam, and I see Eric, he talking about Scotty Beam. That was a dope ass track.
That one definitely jumped out to me. Like I rewound that one and played it again. I think I said it earlier before we went like live. But like I could have done without Rick Ross, but he didn't hurt the track. You know, like I thought he was fine. So
his verse was solid. Yeah, his verse was solid. The joint with Benny is hard. The joint with Conway is tough too.
Yeah.
Even the joint with Tyler the Creator is tough. I like that one. Like it's good.
Tyler
man.
Been showing off on his features here lately too.
Quietly.
Like, I don't know if it's all that quiet.
He got off on that Conway too.
Yeah.
West Side Gun. Yeah. Pray for Paris. He got off on that. Like I came home on Tyler the Creator a long time ago. The boy bad, man. Like whatever you want to say about him, cool. From a musical standpoint, that boy is talented. He's tough.
Yeah.
He's just a talented kid, man. And his solo albums are dope. Like the last 3, he had what was the one before Igor? Was it Flower Boy? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Flower Boy.
Yeah, I think so.
Flower Boy was fire, and the one before that was cold. So
Cherry Bomb,
yeah. I'm a Tyler
Bomb.
fan. He's all right with me. Let's see what's
Yacht Rock Rap.
Yeah, right.
That's what he told me he thought it was. I thought the first song was yacht rockish, but it picked up some every once in a while. I didn't really get a whole yacht rock vibe from the album though. It was good.
I'm honestly I've always been a fan of Tyler, but I've never taken a deep dive into his music. Like I've never sat and listened to his albums. It's always been like pass by streams and stuff like that. So I need to do better, but it's crazy.
He's dope, man. Yeah, he's dope. I just saw a video. I think I might have mentioned this a couple episodes back of him. He was just making a beat, man. It was in some area that had a beautiful view, landscaping, and I'm just sitting here watching him play the keys and you know, go through the process of making a joint. And I'm like, yo, this kid is really talented. Like he gets it. So let's see. I don't think there's anything else.
Nah, I think that might be it for the show.
Yeah, for the show. So let's shout out the partners real quick. Make sure we take care of all of our good partners that we have. Printfinity. Make sure you break bread with my brother Jay Diff. He actually has a Printfinity shirt on if he becomes responsible and moves his arm, so you guys can see the logo.
Yeah, he might do that in a little bit.
He'll do that in a little bit. There we go. Yeah, shout out to Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. We appreciate them as always. Like we always say, they provide us with wax for raffles that we do on set, and also, you know, we do the Patreon. So we really appreciate them.
We will be raffling very, very soon, maybe next week.
All right. Shout out to Sun King Brewery. That's our newest partner. Really excited about that one. I see you along with the merch. Once everything gets back to normal, or whatever we will call normal, it'd be good to continue to grow that partnership. We really appreciate them. No Bad Ideas as always. You guys always see merch from them, hats, book bags. They got wallets. They really are expanding. We really appreciate them.
They got t-shirts coming out too, limited run.
Limited run. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got the will the code be applied? Our code, because I don't know if that's applied.
Yeah, all you got to do is if you use their store online, just type all caps New Old Heads, and you get, I think, 20% off anything in their store.
Yeah, so we really appreciate them. We've been rocking with them.
It's a good look.
For the duration of our show here, and also bringing down the band to the hub as always. Again, like I always say, go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, so you can see everything NOH involved. Also, new music. Shout out to Memphis.
Yeah, and don't forget Dr. Coleman.
Yes, Dr. Coleman. Shout out to Dr. Coleman in Broad Ripple. Like we've been saying for years, make sure you get your teeth right.
Yep.
He's been rocking with us from day one as well.
It's right next to Decademics. If you're familiar with where the school is. So
yes, indeed. So for everybody that is in the thread or in the chat, we really appreciate you guys. This has been fun. Let's see, Sunny Paradise, my man E, DJ Lovesky, my man Jesse Lee. Mike is in the building. He came through. We just had a lot of people came through and showed love. Yo Brown was in here on that foolishness. We appreciate him as well. Yeah, man, this was fun. We would like you guys to come back and rock with us next week.
Yeah,
I think that's going to do it for episode 188. You know, for the entire crew that we have left, the fellas, y'all see them. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.